It's time for another versus battle. Last week was the 18 to 135 against the 50mm at 50mm. This week is the 18 to 135 APS-C zoom against the 35mm 1.8 OSS APS-C prime. These two photos were taken within 10 minutes of each other. However, as you can see, there is some clouds in the sky and the sun was coming in and out. However, I've done my absolute best to time it so that the pictures are as comparable as possible. On the left, we have the 18 to 135 zoom at f4.5, which is as low as it can go at 35mm. On the right, we have the 35mm 1.8 OSS at f4. I'll show you some f1.8 and f2.8 at the end of the video, but for now let's get them started at a level playing field and let's dive in. So boom, here we go. Now that's not so bad. Last week the 50mm definitely was easily the winner, but with the 35, let's check here. Check some corners. Yes, indeed. Once again, the prime is going to take the win here. If you have a look in the corners, you can see on the prime the detail on these tiles here on the roof, which we don't quite get unfortunately with the zoom, but it's not doing a bad job. The zoom is not doing a bad job at all, considering in the corners quite considerable there. Actually in the corners you see very soft in this extreme corner, whereas the prime is retaining its detail here. Let's go for the other side, and it's the same story. The other side. Yep, indeedy, that is going to be a win for the prime. Let's move it on a notch here and see what we've got. On the left then we have the 18 to 135 at f5.6, and on the right we have the 35mm prime at f5.6. Let's dive in. Get to the center. Okay then. This is more interesting. Let me just sit forward in the seat so I can really have a good look. And yeah, it's the competition here is a lot better from the zoom. On my screen I'm seeing the prime still takes the win, but the zoom is certainly doing much better. Let's have a look at the corners. Yeah, the prime is certainly better in the corners. Much more detail around all these areas, but in the center it's putting up a good fight. Let's get to the other corner here, and oh yes indeed, you can see this pole, these corners. Now remember, they're both 5.6 here. As soon as we get back into that center, it does indeed put up a better fight. Let's move it on. Okay, so again on the left, 18 to 135 zoom at f8, and on the right the 35mm prime at f8. Let's dive in. Okay. Yep. Center is much better here. They're in the running together. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm struggling a bit. They're very comparable in the center, honestly. A little bit more detail in the prime. I'm just looking at this roof here. Better colour. Let's look at these. But all in all, the zoom's doing a very good job there at f8. Let's have a look at the corners. The corners where it falls down slightly, getting a lot more detail in the corners. Let's have a look. The other side here. Ah, little bird there. And yeah, in the corners, the prime is a win. As we come in to the center, doesn't do bad job there. Center sharpness is all good. The f8 versus the 35 prime. Let's step it up once again. So what have we got now then? On the left, it's the 18:135 zoom at f10. On the right, it's 35mm prime at f10. Let's dive in. Okay. Once again, very even in center sharpness here. Yeah, can't see much of a difference. Let's go into the corners. Yeah, it's doing a bit better. It's still a win for the prime in the corners. A lot more detail. You can clearly see the windows here, and they've just gone a bit soft on the zoom. Let's try the other side. Same basically, it's just gone a bit soft on the sides there, but it does quickly come back in as we go into the center. And last and least here, let's have a look at the extremes. What have we got? So on the left is the zoom at f13, on the right is the prime at f13. Let's dive in. Yeah, the prime handles this a little bit better now. There's still not a lot in it. That center, let's try sides. Same story really as f10 at this point, and the same there. So at 35 it puts up a better fight than the 50 did. Let's just have a look at some crazy examples. What have we got here? So on the, have a look. What I'll do is put it down here, 1.8, and so on the left we have the zoom at 4.5. On the right we have the prime at 1.8, just for a laugh. Let's have a look. Yeah, of course it's just overexposed, shutter speed couldn't keep up. So let's now put the prime at 2.8. Yep, looking nice at 2.8. Let's try your corners. Soft in the corners, of course. 2.8. And to put it in again, the prime. There we go. What have we got with the prime here? It's still 2.8 with the prime. Let's change it over. So now the prime is at f4. And the zoom is at 4.5 there, so the zoom is on the left, 4.5, and the prime is on the right at f4, which is where we were before anyway. Let's roll them out. And of course, when viewing from this angle, there's no difference at all. So there you have it. Once again, the zoom is beaten by the prime, but it put up a better fight this time with the 35 than with the 50. And again, as a travel zoom, stop it down a bit, you really can't go wrong. And as usual guys, it's been emotional.